Good evening all on this fine Sunday evening and welcome back to my YouTube channel. It's been a while, hope you haven't missed me. I know that most people haven't, but there we go. Tonight I'm going to talk about a group that I've done quite a bit of work with in the past and I've got a lot of respect for, and that's the Taxpayers Alliance. They've done some fantastic research in unearthing waste, both at local and national government level, including the town hall rich list they do every year, which has highlighted just how much taxpayers' money is being spent here in Hillingdon on executives. Also, I'll tell you a secret, the 2014 UK local election manifesto, I pinched most of it off of the Taxpayers Alliance 100 Ways to Save Money at Local Council Level. It was very well researched and, well, what can you do? Imitation's the sincerest form of flattery. But recently, there is one thing that I have been a little bit, well, not a little bit, I've been very concerned about with regard to Taxpayers Alliance policy. Now, they've put up a really good attack on HS2, which is a massive waste of money, biggest white elephant going in the transport sector. But because of that, I've got to admit I'm a little bit, shall we say, perturbed that they're backing a third runway at Heathrow. Now, Heathrow, as regular viewers of my channel will know, is something that's quite close to my heart. And I know that the TPA are concerned with regards to economic stuff. So as a result, I'll leave out all the reasons to block it in terms of the environment, in terms of local impact. And let's just go straight for the economic reasons why it doesn't make sense. And there are many of them. First of all, the cost of the infrastructure build to support a third runway at Heathrow. Transport for London reckon it's somewhere between 15 and 18 billion pounds worth of taxpayers' money that will have to upgrade the infrastructure. That's more than the Davis Commission report stated. They reckon about 5 to 6 billion, but even that would be more, more than enough. But TfL have looked at the long-term aspects of it. So for instance, where you're affecting traffic around the airport, it also has impacts further out. So that's a big bill for the taxpayer to support the foreign owned investors in the airport, because let's face it, there are no British companies invested in Heathrow Airport, they're all overseas companies. Now, I know the TPA obviously, and I myself, support low taxation, and in my case it's based on Laffer curve principles, but Heathrow Airport are not a responsible operator in terms of how much they put back into the community for how much they get out of it. Then there are the other sides of it, the job side of it. We've heard all this about the job side, that there'll be more jobs, but we were promised that when Heathrow got Terminal 5, and the reality is that Heathrow now employs less people than it did before they got T5. So we've seen, they were saying that would generate thousands of jobs. It didn't, the reverse actually, because they were mechanising stuff. So again, the job side doesn't stack up, the taxpayer investment side doesn't stack up. Then you're also looking at the reimbursement for the houses. Well, we looked at the figures from Davis and the amount that the airport have put aside to make sure that the people who are hit by compulsory purchase, there's not enough money in the pot to do it. So that's going to come back on the taxpayer when they basically can't bail it out. And then we have the economic side of it. Initially, Heathrow said that the economy would benefit over a 60-year period from 2030 to the tune of 200 billion. Then that dropped to 100 billion, then Davis said it'd be 60 billion, and gradually it's going lower and lower and lower. And the government did a study last year that showed actually that the financial benefits of Gatwick to the economy are higher than the benefits of Heathrow. Now, I know that the guys at the TPA are, pretty diligent. They're pretty on the ball when it comes to matters of finance. But in this case, I think that they're actually wrong. And I know, guys, if you're out there, Chloe, Wesley, and the rest of you, please come back to me. Give me the reasons why you're backing it, because I'm finding it difficult to find on the website. And I know you've got a lot of clout in Westminster. People listen to you because the research you do is generally very, very effective and very, very good. But on this particular issue, I think you've got it drastically wrong. In 2015 at the UKIP conference, I was asked to do a fringe event where we debated airport expansion in the south of England. There was a representative there from Gatwick. There was Nigel Milton, one of the directors of Heathrow Airport, putting forward the case for the third runway, and I was there basically to put the case against. And at the end of the debate, bearing in mind this guy is a highly qualified director of the airport, and to be fair, Nigel's actually quite a nice guy as well. At the end we had a show of hands in the room and only one hand went up in favour of Heathrow expansion. Somebody there actually joked, did he bring his mum along, which I thought was a bit unfair but quite funny. So please guys at the TPA, can you please, I'm asking you, please revisit this, and at the same time, if you want any further information, I'm happy to put you in touch with people from the anti-third runway campaign who can give you all the economic breakdowns. Not the stuff you're going to get from Heathrow itself, because obviously they've got a vested interest. This is from people who are going to be affected locally. It's not a good idea for the economy. It's not about boosting the British economy. It is about boosting the pockets of the overseas investors in the airport. And in fact, if you like, let's get a public meeting on, let's debate this. I'll get some people from the anti-third runway campaign. You can get some guys down from Heathrow as well as some of your experts. Let's thrash it out, let's have a Q&A, because as I say, you guys have got quite a lot of influence. You're very well respected. I certainly respect you, but we can all be wrong once, and on this particular issue I think you're wrong. So let's have a chat, let's go through it all, let's look at the figures from both sides, and I'm sure at the end of it, as the audience at the UKIP conference are convinced by the end of that debate, after the presentations and the Q&A, that a third runway for Heathrow isn't in the best interests of the British economy. In fact, it's only in the interests of foreign investors, and the British economy would be much better served by using underutilised provincial airports, spreading the load around the UK, and if necessary, okay, you know, I personally don't think there's a need for a second runway at Gatwick. We've got enough capacity across 7 runways at 6 airports in London, plus an unused runway at Manston, which can be reopened very easily. So let's have a debate on this. Give us a shout, let us know what you think, because a third runway is not in the best interests of the British economy. Give me a call. Speak to you soon. Thanks for watching. Bye.